This is called Metropolitan Steam Locomotive Number 1, which carried passengers in the 19th century. It returns to the tube to mark the 150th anniversary of the London Underground, tracking up to 25 miles per hour. The journey to Moorgate took 34 minutes. Those who were lucky to get the tickets had the opportunity to see how the Victorians experienced the Underground. Those who didn't packed on the platforms along the route to see the steam train in all its glory. Mayor of London, Boris Johnson, was on this steam train, and he was very proud of it.
Those Victorians were utterly bold, daring and original. They decided to put trains in tunnels. No one had done that before on the planet. That was how our tube system began.
Being the world's first underground, the London Underground is not only renowned for its transport purpose, but also for its glorious history. Annie Moore, author of the popular tube blog called Going Underground, considers the London Underground as a unique combination of the old and the modern.
I think there's a certain character in the London Underground that you probably don't see in other subway systems around the world. I think other subway stations all look very similar, and our stations all look incredibly different and are very much of the time that they were created. And I think it's a testament to TfL that they've done a lot of work to actually preserve them and to keep them looking like they used to look in the past. I think that's a thing that London is very good at, is preserving a lot of old, but also being aware of what's new and aware of the need to modernise certain areas, but to still be aware of the histories and not to forget the history and not to knock it down.
She is also impressed by the first woman driver in tube history.
One of the things I like about the tube is, the first female tube driver. She was a lady called Hannah Dadds, and she qualified to become a tube driver in 1978. Which is actually, you think quite late for there to be the first woman tube driver. She had to, battle quite a lot of, male sexist attitudes at the time. So she was a very strong character to get through that. But she did it, and it didn't necessarily, I wouldn't say, open the floodgates, but it meant that the attitudes changed towards women operating a train.
Besides the long history, the art and the design also contribute to the London Underground's global identity. Gareth Edwards, the editor and author of transport site London Recollections, has been talking about the amazing design of the tube map, the stations and the trains.
The tube map is one of the iconic elements of design and indeed London history. It was, as we know, it was originally designed by a man called Harry Beck. He came up with the bright colours, the angles, the visuals that we know and love about it. Originally, London Underground didn't want to use it. It took him several years to persuade them that was the right thing to do. I think also the London Underground was very lucky. In design terms, it's got such a kind of iconography associated with it. That makes it unique. That makes it feel not just like any other metro in the world, really. Even the colours of the trains are all so such strong design iconography. They stand out in what, whilst it's very beautiful, is actually quite a very grey city a lot of the time.
Besides the talks by transport experts, many other organizations have also joined to celebrate the anniversary. Royal Mail released a London Underground stamp set. The 6 stamps have shown the development of the transport network from 1863 to the present day. Also, Transport for London and the London Transport Museum developed 2 new roundel coins, which show the famous underground logo in a design inspired by May Rain. They will also organize many other events and activities throughout this year. The events will explore the tube's history and look at the role it will play in the future, both in the lives of Londoners and the economy of the city and the UK.